what's up, everybody? How are you doing today? This is Keith Billik. Thanks for joining me for a bonus episode of the Picky Fingers Banjo Podcast. And don't worry, there will still be a full-length episode coming up in short order within a few days, hopefully. But I did want to put this out there for a few reasons. One thing, it occurred to me not too long ago that I was coming up on, and actually at this point have just passed the 3-year mark of doing this show. So that's really cool. And a lot of interactions that I've had over the years, something that keeps popping up is that people would like to not only hear the theme music for the show, but also have asked for banjo tablature for that. And I've always kind of had it in the back of my mind that that's something that I would like to do. But I also felt a little sheepish about it because really where that theme music comes from, 3 years ago when I was making this show for the first time, I didn't know if it was something that anyone was going to listen to. I didn't know if it was something that I was going to enjoy doing. And as it turns out, people listen to it and I enjoy it. But what I'm getting at is I recorded that theme music pretty much just on a whim. I knew I needed some theme music. So I threw up a microphone and played some banjo music into it, just sort of the first banjo tune-ish thing that popped into my head at the moment. So that's been the theme music ever since for 3 years. So with people asking me about it and the fact that it's been 3 years now, I thought it was a good opportunity to re-record it with an actual band, and that's what I've done. And as you may have noticed, there's intro music and also outro music. So I recorded 2 new tracks with some of my good friends and some great musicians, and I will introduce them in a bit. But I guess the first thing I will say is that if you like what you hear from these songs and you would like to be able to, listen to them on repeat all day long for weeks and months and maybe even 3 years, you can purchase them at banjopodcast.com. That's the main website for the show. And if you go to the shop there will be options to download the songs themselves. There will be an option to download the songs with all the banjo tablature, and that's going to have the lead melody and banjo solos. So there's really going to be no excuse. By the time we get music festivals and concerts back going, when I'm wandering around a parking lot, hearing some picking sessions, I want to hear this theme music, and now there's no excuse for everyone not to know it. There's tablature out there. Once again, banjopodcast.com is the way to get that. Now, if you are one of my very special Patreon subscribers, you have already received, or if you sign up on Patreon, you will receive free downloads of both of the songs as well as the banjo tablature. So that's some great incentive for you to visit patreon.com/banjopodcast, become a supporter of the show, get these music tracks, get the banjo tab. It's all included, and you just have the satisfaction of knowing that you're supporting an independent banjo podcast. I know I definitely appreciate all of you who have done that. So let's get listening to some music. I figure we will just start with the new intro theme, and I have chosen for a title Freshly Picked, just to keep with the the branding that I have going. Everything has to be pick something. So this one's called Freshly Picked. It's going to feature at least 1 or 2 familiar names to you. Jonah Lewis is playing fiddle. Joshua Rilko is on mandolin. Hayes Griffin on guitar. Jeremy Darrow on bass. And of course, yours truly playing the banjo on it. So here it is, the world premiere of the new podcast theme music, and this one's titled Freshly Picked. So there you have it, the new theme music. From now on, that's going to be what welcomes in every episode. So this brings us to the outro theme music, which closes every episode. I don't know how many of you noticed this previously, but the outro theme is essentially just a bluesy version of the same melody as the intro. So you might pick up on that now. And once again, this is the same band that I listed for you before on the Freshly Picked series, but this is the outro theme, and I've titled this one Barrel Proof. That's the outro theme titled Barrel Proof. I really hope you enjoyed those two new tracks. Once again, the band is me on banjo, Aaron Jonah Lewis playing fiddle, Joshua Rilko on mandolin, Jeremy Darrow on bass, and Hayes Griffin on guitar. And I also did the mixing and mastering on those tracks. Those are both available for purchase at banjopodcast.com. You can also get the tablature with those at banjopodcast.com. Or if you want all of that included in your membership, you can go to patreon.com/banjopodcast and get free access to the downloads of all those items. So definitely drop me a line and let me know what you think of the new music. I can be reached at pickyfingersbanjopodcast@gmail.com. Really love to hear your comments and suggestions about anything podcast or banjo related. Now, don't stop listening yet. We're actually not even done with the new music. Another inquiry that I often get from listeners is whether I will ever do clawhammer-based episodes rather than what I've done up till now, which is all three-finger episodes. And that answer pretty much is yes. The statement that I usually give to people in response is that I'm not a clawhammer player. I'm not as big of a fan of that music, so I feel somewhat inadequate in terms of being able to ask intelligent questions and keep up with all the musical references that people might do. But it is something that I'd like to do. I was planning on doing it pre-pandemic, and I am still planning to do it. And in fact, the next full episode will feature a clawhammer player. And for that reason, I thought I also needed clawhammer theme music. And for that, I enlisted my very good longtime friend, Derek Smith, who is one of my favorite musicians around Michigan, and he and I go way back, lots of memories. In fact, if you remember the story I told at the beginning of the Ryan Kavanaugh episode about me going down to IBMA but falling deathly ill and basically being trapped in my hotel room for days, Derek was the poor sap who had to pick up my slack and do all the work when I was out of commission there. So Derek and I have been through a lot together. He's a great musician, good dude, and I'm really proud to have him playing clawhammer banjo. He also works at, another fun fact about Derek. He is the product manager and a builder over at Northfield Mandolins. And I know this is a banjo podcast, but if any of you are into mandolins, Northfield are great instruments, so I'm really proud of what Derek and the whole team over there do for the mandolin world. And in case you aren't aware of them, those are mandolins that are endorsed by Mike Marshall, Emery Lester, Sarah Jaros, and Joe Walsh, among many others. So they're doing awesome things. I'm proud of Derek and what they're doing, and super happy that he agreed to record my theme music on clawhammer banjo, which is something that he's also really good at. So here is another round of theme music, this time played in the clawhammer style by Derek Smith. Here's the intro. Once again, that's Derek Smith playing clawhammer style of my intro tune titled Freshly Picked, and that's going to be the theme music for any episodes that feature clawhammer players, which I thought was very fitting, but me being basically not a clawhammer player at all, I needed to call in some help, and he was the man for the job. And of course, every good intro theme music deserves also some outro theme music. So here we go. Once again, Derek Smith playing, this time barrel proof, the outro theme. joining me, everyone, for this 3-year anniversary celebration featuring a lot of new music or some old music newly played, freshly picked, maybe I should say. Once again, you can get those tracks, at least the bluegrass tracks, are available on the website, banjopodcast.com, and you can also order a special item that includes banjo tablature sheets. If you are a Patreon supporter, you received links already. If you become a Patreon supporter, you will get those items as well. So head over to patreon.com/banjopodcast to check that out and support the show. Thanks to all the great musicians. Once again, Derek Smith doing clawhammer banjo. Thanks to myself playing regular banjo. Regular? That's not a thing. The other banjo. Jeremy Darrow on bass. Joshua Rilko on mandolin. Hayes Griffin, guitar. Aaron Jonah Lewis, fiddle. Thanks, everyone. Let me know what you think at pickyfingersbanjopodcast.com. And I will see you very soon for another full-length episode of the show. So that's going to do it for this one. Cheers.